The MB track is out of the shed. For those that don't know, MB means Mercedes-Benz. I'm just moving some stuff around in there, so brought it outside. I might take it around the block for a blast though, just to check that it's all running okay. Give everything a good sort of circulate round, get the oil around the head, get the water flowing around it, make sure that all the antifreeze is okay while it's out. Just noticed this sticker here. It's I presume that means work light, because it's a picture of a pickaxe and a light. It's a very very Soviet button in a German machine. Sounds a beast. Right, where are we? On second, and then maybe fourth. Take the handbrake off, and off we go. Got a bag of mail bags because the hats have arrived and are now going off to the post office. So anyone that ordered hats last week, some of them you've already had, some of these ones like this and the pink ones, they're now on the way today. So hopefully you should have them tomorrow or the day after. Fresh batch, they're all sold. Just put an easy out in there now. So they're like these things that they're like tapered if it focuses, just get it to focus. And you hammer them in. And you slot like a nut over the top. Like this. Then turn it, then that grips it. And then you turn it with a spanner. And hopefully. Nah. Is it spinning? Spinning. Oh, I'll heat it up first. I'm gonna warm it up now with the blow lamp, get it hot. Then hammer in this, and then try it again now. Cut the end off because it was a bit damaged, so I've cut it to smaller, to the damaged bit off the end. Gotta watch, you don't want to get the gearbox hot or the clutch. Right, I've hammered that in now. I'm gonna put a bar on it and see if it works. No, it's just spinning. I'll have to knock it off and do it in the vice. It's not undoing, so I'm just gonna have to take the clutch apart and then try and get it off with a slide hammer or a bearing puller. Gonna try putting a claws on the slide hammer, see if that works. Just tried with the slide hammer, but it's fairly fast knocking this off. Took the clutch apart, but when I use the slide hammer, I'm pulling on that centre shaft. Don't want to damage the gearbox. We're going to use a bearing puller and push in there and pull, and then we're not putting any shock load through the gearbox. It's like 30 ton this. Got it apart now. That won't. That's what we need to drill out. put a bolt in to hold it on, and this is part of the clutch. So how it works is you have a clutch plate one side, clutch plate the other side. That goes on there, and then that on there, and these bolts slide up through. Just all them slide on bolts through. That all. And then the shaft then from the tractor bolts onto there with these bolts, and the springs compress these plates onto this middle plate, which is the back hub onto the gearbox. And then if anything was to jam up, it would slip, because it's not completely true drive, it's driving through these springs and these plates, what we call pressure plates, clamped around that top hat. So it's like a clutch protection. But yeah, we just need to drill that out now, re-tap it, put a bolt in to hold it on, and then when the new bits arrive, hopefully there should be. This bearing actually isn't gone, it's a bit knackered, it's not gone, but there's a plastic bush that goes in there that's got an offset hole in it. So as the shaft spins with this on it, it wobbles this bar up and down, and then it shakes inside the hopper, some little tines that dangle down. Oh, someone's in the way. We were all in the workshop fixing the spreader, and Andrew had been chipping, doing the double chip, then he come to give me a lift with that press, and so did Frank. And we could hear the chipper running. Why is the chipper running? Anyway, Christine's decided to carry on chipping, which is great. So she's just doing some double chip now, so when that drying floor's dry tomorrow, we can swap it around. MB Track's had a good run today because the battery's been a bit dicky, because it only really gets started up, revved and then shut. So I've been around the block on it. We left it running in the yard, and I've just noticed it's got a little bit of a diesel leak there. So I think that injector pipe might be leaking. But it's a bit weird because the injectors seem to be sideways unless they go in and then they drop down. Don't really know how Mercedes engines are built, but yeah, that's diesel on the floor, not oil. Just need to find a panel for there. Someone did say they had one, but I've not got hold of it yet. The parts have arrived anyway, so that is the new version of that. So obviously that's worn. Just got a rubber bush in there. I'm glad I got the whole thing because it does look quite oval compared to where that bush sits around the outside. If you look, then this is the bearing kit. You've got the bearing and the eccentric plastic bush. So really you could, that bearing isn't gone, it's just a bit dry. You could get away with putting a plastic bush in there, but this metal plate has got damaged. So it just wants knocking out, new bearing, new plastic bush putting in. See how it's eccentric? So that means that the hole's not in the middle, it's on the outside to the edge. So as the PTO spins round, it'll wobble the bearing up and down like that, which then wobbles this up and down, which then grabs onto that and then shakes the shaft in the middle. So we get all that back together now. Just need to drill that stud that's snapped out of there, put a new bolt in so that holds the hub back on the shaft, which is part of the clutch. The birthday bumper's the outro today because I'm going up to near Newcastle, or as Brett says, Newcastle, to do a talk tomorrow morning. So I'm going to shoot up there now. Andrew's going to finish putting the fertiliser spreader back together, and the others are finishing off the brickwork. Did you get it? Get that tail. Looks like a mini Merlot, but not as good. Two Class Jaguars. One looks newer than the other one. And a 5140, is it over there? See it? In the middle of the Yorkshire Dales. Looks a bit funny, this, isn't it? The blue lights. See if the beds are comfy. It's good enough for Princess Anne. Do for me. That's not Chester's bed, that's my bed. Chester can have that chair or his basket. Not
bad.
Got a little like starlight roof. It's good that.